Welcome. You find yourselves in the town tavern. Through the typical calm pierces an unfamiliar voice. It sings news of a nefarious power. A bard to herald a call to all who would answer. Seek out this villainy and destroy it. To succeed is to achieve everlasting glory and riches beyond imagining. To fail is to lose everything. Will you answer the call?
Fuck it.
Welcome. You find yourselves in the town tavern. Through the typical calm pierces an unfamiliar voice. It sings news of a nefarious power. A bard to herald a call to all who would answer. Seek out this villainy and destroy it. To succeed is to achieve everlasting glory and riches beyond imagining. To fail is to lose everything. Will you answer the call?
Fuck it.
classics were not recognized as classics in their time.
This is
So
very true.
just saying. Just saying.
I'm excited.
Hello.
Oh, hi, we're live. Shit.
What's
Yeah.
going on?
Oh, we're all in the wrong boxes. Give me a second. But yes,
Oh,
we're
all right.
live. Hello.
I'm
All right,
Azara.
hello. Welcome to
Um,
season 2 of
Hey,
WovenRealm.
Chris is still the game master at least.
Hey, there we go. We're kicking things off hot tonight with some right out the gate perfection. So, I'm Chris. I'll be GMing now. Switching from Alex, we're taking over the seat, and now I get to bully Alex's character for a while until he
Yay!
inevitably gets to bully mine again. So with me, I have Lucy playing Azara, AJ playing Constance, Sam playing Oleander, and Alex now playing the Fenris.
The
So-
Fenris. That's right.
A quick recap for those who need it. The Emerald Caravan, I almost said the wrong turns, holy shit. The Emerald Caravan recently departed the town of Maywood after the trial of Soren Silverthorn, after the trial of Amaranth Willowbreeze. It's been a few trials in a row for them, and both of them were about as successful. So, with metaphorically and figuratively leaving Maywood behind, we find the party headed towards the Tri-Towns. Multiple losses and a friend still missing, clouds hang heavy over the Emerald Caravan today. Those awakening today feel the crisp fall air on their skin. It feels as if the seasons have changed overnight and you are now in the full swing of autumn. Wonderful party. Emmy has asked you to head towards the town of Briar as you continue your quest, probably for the best, as the city you're leaving behind is full of tension and could boil over into a revolt at any second.
Plot
It
device
seems
cat.
people It seems people have had enough of the mess of a judicial system Maywood seems to flaunt, as we noted the last few episodes. The camera pans over top of beautiful orange and yellow leaf trees as they slowly blow to the ground. A steam train sits puffing soft clouds of smoke against the sky as it chugs along towards its destination. The last stop before Briar. Inside of the train, we find the Holy One Paladin, Constance of Eternal Trust, the Spirit-born Necromancer, Oleander Morgenstern, the Half-Elf Cleric, Azara Solaris, and the newest member of the caravan, the Demon-Touched Druid, Fenris. Together, these adventurers make up the party named the Emerald Caravan. The fate of Everencia and its future lies in their hands. Players, a quick recap of how everyone is doing this morning. Is it a silent train ride or is conversation flowing? What are you doing to pass the time? Take it away.
A request to also describe our characters as we're now
Oh,
entering
yeah.
a new season, and I don't think Fenris has really been fully.
No, yeah, let's go player to
Describe.
player and describe their appearance and how their mental state is today, what they're thinking about, what they're doing on the train.
Oh, fun. Who wants to go first with that? All right, fine. I'll go first since I was the one who recommended it. I'm just trying to open a freaking file right now, okay? Sitting at one of the, what kind of train car do we got here, Chris? Are we talking like one of the ones where we get like a little table and stuff, or is this like a?
Yeah, you've got a little private booth.
Before everything was just a giant bus.
Yep,
Nice.
you've got the little sliding door, you know, an ollie cart comes every once in a while and offers food to you.
Oh, okay. So Fenris is he's as Chris had mentioned, he is a demon touched. He is a druid. He has a deep blue violet skin that betrays his otherworldly occult nature, as do the dark brown horns that grow from his head, curving like crescent moons almost, jagged and horn-like still. He's got very scruffy features. He's got basically a bird's nest for hair going on. He's got like a really messy version of Uncle Iroh's cool like mutton chop beard thing. And the most striking thing about him is he wears a long coat that's like a harlequin pattern of 2 different shades of green. And he has on the neckline of it, it's got like wolf fur, and he carries at his side a sword in a scabbard that is just covered in rose thorns. He is penning a letter currently to somebody, probably back in Shiverdelve. And his mental state is he's probably on the verge of a fucking nervous breakdown, being the only survivor of his exterminated druid circle, as we saw in the finale of season 1. He's the only thing that's keeping him together is traveling with these interesting characters.
All right, thank you. Who else wants to go ahead and describe their character?
I can go. Oh, go ahead.
So Azara is a half elf. She has copper tone tan skin, purple eyes, shoulder-length lavender hair. She wears all white with copper lining, and there is a symbol of the astral star on the lapel of her like wool coat that has a flared white skirt. I imagine she has like stashed her massive fucking lance in the luggage rack overhead. She's probably pretty quiet. If somebody was going to talk to her, actually she's probably sitting next to Constance. And if Constance is talking, listening to Constance.
Oh, yes.
But she's not like starting conversations today.
Yeah, Constance, Constance has a tendency to fill the air with just with meaningless prattle, essentially, to pass the time, and because silence is not a good time, don't like silence, then you start thinking too much. You don't like to think. Thinking's real bad. Anyway, so Constance, were you done, Lucy? Okay. So Constance is sitting next to Azara. She is a Holy One, or Aasimar, and she's very pale, as if she's been inside for most of her life, with a short, dark brown bob, and like a pretty almost too perfect build, like in her stature, and she wears a white and blue dress that is covered in gold armor that's starting to fall apart. She's going to need to replace that soon, and she is just talking Azara's ear off, and anyone who will listen to her senseless chatter about the tree that she just saw as they passed, and how its leaves were reaching to the sky, and it was a beautiful sight, and just babbling on and on and on.
Thank you. That leaves Oleander.
Yeah, I think Oleander is probably, I guess, sitting next to Fenris if we're in like a 2x2, I feel like, in this sort of like train car. She has her face sort of buried in the plain sketchbook that everybody's seen her just sort of working in pretty frequently just ever since she started traveling with them. She is a very small, thin, frankly malnourished looking light spirit born. She has long wavy yellow hair that is half up in like sort of delicate braids towards the back. She has certainly gotten a new dress since last season, considering all of her past ones had been destroyed in battles. And it's getting colder now, so Oleander is now wearing a heavier sort of fine wool gown of like this dark red. It's got like a very sort of Victorian style with like the high neck, puffy shoulders, and narrow waist. The party might have noticed by now that Oleander wears a corset all the time, which is actually part of her back support. And the dress has little velvet patterns of like black feathers that looks like it's falling on it. So the hem has like a bunch of them down at the bottom. And there's a sleek black cane leaning on the seat next to Fair as she's frustratingly trying to draw and having trouble on it, both because it's hard to draw on a fucking train and because arthritic hands make drawing hard sometimes. And I think Ida, a large, very large Ervician Malamute, is probably taking up way too much floor space in like the car, just sort of curled up next to Oleander, but it's probably really she's probably really taking up the whole spot.
Let's take a moment to recognize an Ervician Malamute size. You have dire wolves, right? That's what a Malamute. It's just a dire wolf dog.
Yeah, like I essentially imagine like Ida might be like sort of bred to be like smaller for better, like more purposes, like service purposes. So size-wise, she's kind of like a service pony. If you've ever seen like pictures of a service pony for scale.
That's kind of how I imagine it.
Yeah, and Oleander is small and thin enough that she actually could like ride her at least a little bit when needed.
And it's
I-
during your moment of frustration. Sorry if you want to continue. But...
No, that's fine. I was just gonna say, I think probably her chair is either collapsed into like the top rack with everybody's weapons, or it had to be like checked somewhere. Just because I know trains suck to travel on.
They sure
with
do.
chairs.
But remember, this is before trains were buses, though.
Yeah, so it was even shittier.
But the Fenris turns to Oleander. He's like, "Does she have her? Shut up." And he's referring to Constance, obviously, but like low enough where Constance can't hear him saying that.
Well, you just sort of becomes white noise.
Oh, great. I was never one for this kind of white noise.
But no, I thought you, loved to hear Constance's, sweet voice.
Oh, yes, but not when I'm trying to pen a letter. I am.
Oh?
What are you working on? Looks over her shoulder.
Nothing. I go to close my book. None of your business. What are you working on?
No, he just closes all shit up. Fine. I was writing, Sylvia. I never did make an effort to give a proper farewell before leaving.
Oh. I'm sure she would appreciate getting a letter.
Yes. I'm just not, I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready to send something like this to her. I am still vexed by the events that occurred last week.
I think that is understandable. I don't think anybody would expect things to be all better for you by now.
No, I just never thought I would prove the Inquisition right and make yet another demon touched a monster. But alas, here we are.
That is not what happened.
Well, it depends how you look at it. According to Amaranth's teachings, I almost walked over to the side of the total chimera, which there is no return.
Well, perhaps, but did you 9? So you held on to your humanity, so to speak.
Yes, but well, part of me is still mad that Sylvia took the chance for me to see justice done.
She was just trying to do what she thought was best.
Perhaps she did promise me all those years ago, if I was ever to give in to my heritage, that she would make sure it would not happen by any means. And Oleander, I'm going to ask a very difficult favor of you, since you're the only one I really trust with any level of confidence.
But
I would hate for mine abilities to bring harm to your caravan. And if that's ever the case, that I would join the Total Chimera again, I want you to make sure it does not happen.
first of all, I think they are our caravan now, but I promise.
I appreciate it. I just do not know with my current mental state if I will be able to maintain control.
You have already managed to. Then I think it has counted the most so far, so...
Yes, but Constance's prattling makes it quite difficult to meditate. And to maintain control, I need meditation.
You know, the more you complain about the prattling, the more I think you kind of like it.
He starts getting a little bluish because that's the color he gets when he blushes. Oh, no, she's annoying and she doesn't ever stop talking. And oh, look over there. Is that
Are you 12?
Just eat that. What are you eating?
Oh, Scheisse, stop giving her snacks. I go and pry whatever she's found on the train floor out of her mouth.
It's at this
Mission
point, there's a
accomplished.
little rap at the glass door as it slides open, and an older human woman is pushing a little food cart down. Any snacks, dears?
Nothing for me.
I'm all right, thank you.
Oh, you're muted.
It depends. What do you have?
Well, we've got all sorts of candies. We've got butterscotch and fruit-flavored candies and chocolate bars and
Oh,
all sorts.
oh, oh no. I'm quite vexed. What do you all think I should do?
Biscuits with honey on it. And
Oh.
she just keeps getting things out.
Do you want something?
Yes, I want the sweets, but oh, I am filled
Choose
with such
one thing.
regret afterwards.
One thing. Choose one, and you should be fine.
Only one. Okay.
I think you should eat every
No.
single one.
Well, I did that before, and it did not turn out so well.
Damn. Just goes back to writing.
I will take one chocolate, please.
All right, dear. And she gets out this thinly wrapped little chocolate bar and hands it to you, and collects 1 silver from you. She's enjoy now. Just page me down if you need me. And she's just
Pardon
pushing-
me.
Oh,
Pardon
yes.
me. I
Back
would
up.
like some more information about how you harvest the cocoa beans and get the milk for this chocolate that you are providing to us.
Yep, I'll send someone right down, sir. And she just slowly closes the door as she's walking past you.
Well, I feel like I was not being listened to. Whatever.
I
About
don't
20
think their
minutes later.
candy is locally sourced.
About 20 minutes later, there's just a little brochure that gets passed under the door.
Our chocolate is free range.
Free range
Free
chocolate.
range!
Non-arcanely
Just let the trees
produced.
grow everywhere.
I'm so muted. I'm so glad I was muted for the snort that came out of my mouth. Free range chocolate.
As she comes back with the brochure, she also leaves you today's paper.
Oh no.
It is in roll 20.
Ooh, Chris, come out here with the
Yeah,
fucking
no big deal.
fucking handouts.
Ooh, look at
Ooh.
that.
Oh, I don't know why it didn't work. Oh well.
I see it. Words
Did
of
y'all
the
see it?
woods.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Oh, there we go.
Words of the woods.
Words
Written.
of the Woods. I'll read you the middle section, y'all. The alt text is below it because it's a shitty font. I realized after I selected it. So
I was yeah, ooh.
yeah, it's tough. So it's below in a much hopefully easier font. So middle column. Soren Silverthorn of Notorious Thieves Guild the Watcher, sentenced to death in endless tunnels. Queen Skyheart yet again prevails over crime as Notorious Watcher Soren Silverthorn is sentenced to death. This is the latest in a series of crackdowns on crime inside of Maywood's walls. Citizens rejoice as the Watcher was banished early this morning. The citizens can sleep safer yet again thanks to the crown. Since Soren's death, fellow Watchers and Watcher sympathizers have taken to the streets to revolt after tensions rise throughout the day. General Tatiana Claymore had this to say on the riots. Citizens need not worry about the group of unskilled amateurs who sport the open eye. The Golden Sentinels will protect from this insolent guild time and time again. There's also some fun little side stuff if y'all want to read that. So.
Fenris takes great interest in the mauled bodies in the woods for obvious reasons.
Yes, there is a Claymore.
I know.
No relation, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure it's totally relevant.
Yep. She's totally not a badass.
Fuck.
She's totally not way cooler than her dad. He was just a Geralt ripoff.
Fuck that guy.
and we fucked that guy's life up.
You did. Anyways, so you all have varying reactions to the newspaper. Some of you happy, some of you probably not so happy. So I will say that it is kind of shocking in a moment to see like Soren dead, regardless of your feelings toward him. It is probably the first time that you've seen those two words together. Most people just said he was being banished, but this one seems a little bit more concrete. So
Right.
there's that. And we will leave that behind.
Do not like this. I do not like this. This is not okay.
Yeah, well.
Why do you mourn the loss of him?
Soren was one of the caravan. Is
One of the caravan seemed more like a taskmaster or wagon driver, if you ask me.
You didn't know him.
we did not have any wagons for him to drive.
Well, someone who comes into one's home and insults it first before even getting to know the housekeeper and owner is of low moral character.
He was not necessarily the most tactful, if it was not convenient.
Yeah, well,
But he was still our friend.
yeah, well, I guess he could have taken the time to apologize before being sent to the grave. May Marlfax guide his soul.
I don't believe for a second that Soren is actually dead.
Yes, definitely. It would take much more than being banished to endless tunnels where you have to wander forever to kill Soren.
Elena's just slowly burying her head back to keep drawing.
Yeah, well, I hope he has a wonderful time in the endless tunnels. Perhaps he can dream of his home that still exists and isn't a pile of ash. Must be nice. And he just goes back to writing.
What happened wasn't Soren's fault, and it is unfair of you to blame him.
I don't blame him for what happened. I just wish he apologized for insulting my home. I just try to think back fondly on that place, and the last time a guest was in my house before it was destroyed, it was insulted. I don't have a home to go back to, and all I can think about every time I want to dream of a place where
Join the club, Fenris! And Azara's gonna get up and storm out.
Yeah, well, I want to take your lance and shove it up your ass. And he just goes back to writing.
Oh, but Mr. the Fenris.
What?
You should not have said those things to Azara. If anyone knows what you are going through, it is her.
Well, she should be more blunt about it then. I'm not the mind reader. I'm a druid. I don't have time to play these kind of games.
And Constance will get up and go after Azara.
Eleanor still just got her face buried in her notebook, but as the door closes, she just goes, nice. Like at Fenris.
Just Fenris, like, what? She deserved it.
I think everybody is in a difficult spot right now.
Yes.
I know things are particularly fresh for you, and while I don't know what you are feeling in this particular situation, I can tell you from experience that lashing out to the caravan will not help anything, especially help you feel better.
Like I've said, I have just had a lot of trouble meditating lately, and it's making it very difficult to keep Lycus in check, I suppose.
Yeah, though my Scheisse hands won't work, so join the fucking club. And Olander just like frustratingly actually throws her journal across the the thing and like pouts, slouches down in the chair. It's like none of the rest of the party is here, and she's kind of reverting back to like being a kid again, like the last time Fenris saw her in some ways.
So Fenris, like when you start doing that, he kind of melts. Like the cold, angry exterior melts a little bit, and he's just kind of like, I noticed you were struggling with your hands. Is there something I could provide, such as a poultice or medicinal herb? I have lots of that. Your spiritual friend provided me plenty.
I appreciate it. I don't think so. I already have some medication that I use. But thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, I'm more than willing to keep you company while you work through your flare-up, but I do think I owe someone an apology.
That might be a better use of your time right now. I'll be okay. Go ahead.
All right. Ida, watch her for me. All right,
Elder,
then.
like kind of rolls her eyes like she knows. But appreciates the gesture.
Oh, I figured we go to Constance running after Azara now.
Yeah, Constance, if you wanted to catch up to Azara and have a scene, you can.
I can't hear you.
Where did Azara go? I'm bad at unmuting myself.
Does this train have any of the little, balcony areas like at the back of the car where you can go and be outside on the train?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where she went. And if you come out, she has like both hands wrapped around the railing and her eyes closed, head tipped back.
Oh, Azara, there you are. Are you okay? I know that was very unkind of Fenris to say to you.
I will be all right, Constance. Thank you.
It is. I understand that Fenris is going through many things right now and is having very strong feelings because he went through something so terrible. But that is not an excuse for being so rude to the people he is traveling with now.
You are correct in every respect, Constance. It is probably unfair of me to be so enraged by that, but every time he complains or says it's not fair, of course it isn't fair, never fair, and I get so mad.
I do not know what it is like to have gone through what you have gone through, and I do not know what it's like for Fenris to have gone through what he has gone through. But I can see that it is very hard for you both to bear, and I want to help you as much as I can.
Thank you, Constance. You're a good friend.
And if Azara lets her, Constance will give her a hug.
Azara will give Constance a hug.
That's the
Yeah.
perfect
She's gotten
time.
better at hugs recently.
That's the perfect time for scruffy wolf druid boy to just appear in the arch of the doorway or wherever we are in this train car. Oh, am I interrupting something?
No, it's fine.
Constance, if I may have a moment with Izara, please.
And Constance will like look at Azara to see if it's okay.
That's fine, Constance. Thank you.
Okay.
Constance,
I will go eat my chocolate.
Oleander could use some assistance getting the chair ready for once we get to the station.
Oh, of course, yes. And she'll run off.
Oh, what? I didn't even get a chance to ask. Would you mind to help? Anyway, Izara, I owe you an apology. I am sorry for the comments I made towards you. They were not deserved, and you are correct. I should be kinder to your friend. I do not know him, and perhaps I am taking a little too personally, considering the recent events in my life.
Thank you.
And I am sorry. And he just kind of gives a deep bow.
She'll do the little nod back.
All right. Well, is there something you want to tell me about? It seems to perturb you every time I talk about mine experience. You can't help but notice you get bristly like a porcupine.
It is not the mention of what you have been through that upsets me, because what you went through is terrible. But you're not the only one here who's been through terrible things, Fenris.
Well, I am sorry that if you've been through something terrible, I don't know how I can help you with that if I don't know what it is. If it's something you would like to talk about, I'm going to be quite honest. It's been 5 years since I've really socialized normally with people. So my skills are a bit rusty, but if you need a quiet space to clear your mind, I might be able to provide that.
That's very kind of you, Fenris. Thank you.
Yes, well, I'm being serious. It seems like you could use some peace in your life.
I think we all could.
Well, I will never see it. I'm a dreadborn from Kovith. That's a foreign concept to me.
For someone who fights so hard not to be a monster, you seem to give in to hopelessness very quickly.
I used to not to be so, dare I say, jaded. But 2 weeks ago, my faith in a happy existence was shattered. And now I have resigned myself to a fate of misery.
No, you haven't. If you'd resigned yourself to a fate of misery, you would have stopped fighting.
Yes, I would have walked right off Wolf Moon Ridge, wouldn't I? But traveling with your group is the only thing that is keeping me together right now. Because your dead cat friend asked me to. But I guess it's some sense of purpose, and I'm trying my best to make the best of everything going on around me. It's just very difficult. Very difficult to see why I should be so hopeful.
Because there is a chance it will get better.
Everyone says that, but I begin to doubt that. Perhaps all of the sapient folk are doomed to intolerance and hatred. And it is what will truly destroy us all in the end.
Then give up. But see, I don't think you will, because I don't think you actually believe that.
I should have gave up a long time ago. According
You
to
haven't.
my birth mother scribed my name into the wall of the faithless when I was born. I was born without hope.
Hope is something you can make for yourself.
Azara Solaris, I admire your resolve greatly. There was a time I was like you. That part of me has been dead for many years now.
No part of who we are dies unless we are prepared to give it up.
Well, then don't give it up. Because once you begin walking down the road I am currently journeying, you will find yourself alone.
You don't have to be alone, Fenris.
That's what Emerald said.
Sounded like a wise man.
He was. Shame he had to die. And like he's starting to get a little teary-eyed, and he's just kind of like just turns around, coat slap you in the face a little bit with the sleeve, and he's not a very socially graceful creature. Okay, that's 6 charisma. All right, gotta play into it a little bit. I am sorry, Azara. It's very difficult to try and join a group of adventurers and try and seem capable when you feel so weak. And he just walks out from the conversation. Because we're going to just keep it all here. And then one day we'll just die.
So, Oleander, during this conversation, as you're kind of having a tough day, pouting, reverting to a younger form of yourself, you feel a chill run up your spine as Fenris walks out. You look over at Fenris, and he seems to have frozen in the doorway. He's no longer moving, and his movements just come to a halt as he's right outside the door. In fact, as you look around, the train itself seems to have come to a halt. Outside the windows, the brilliant fall colors have faded and become covered in snow. Down the row of the train, you catch a glimpse of movement out of the corner of your eye.
I think this probably reminds Oleander of a previous visit she had a while ago, even if it's not exactly the same. So she's gonna get up and follow the movement, just sort of on edge.
Down the row of the train, you catch a glimpse of the same movement. A person sits silently on the bench of the train, a sly smile on their lips. He seems to be the only person moving. Everyone else on the train is frozen. A dark hood is pulled over their head that obscures the majority of their facial features. As you approach, you hear him mumbling under his breath, "I am broken, yet I am whole."
Hello?
Ah, young Morgenstern, what drives you?
Oleander kind of just looks around. I don't understand. Who are you?
I'm not the important one here. Your power grows. The soul has sensed it.
Okay. I don't understand.
What drives you?
Oleander spends some time like really thinking and considering if she wants to answer genuinely or not. And I think finally she'll decide, I want to go home for real.
The figure who is At this point, you can kind of see their features a little bit, very masculine features. And they have long, like, white hair kind of back in a ponytail and kind of drapes down the back of their robes a bit. He reaches out one of his hands from underneath of his robes, and it's like half bones, half flesh, and you can kind of see the finger joints poking out from under the flesh. He reaches out, and this little purple illusion of the Necrosaur that you were able to conjure recently pops up in his hand. He says, "This interests us."
The Necrosaur?
As he has been the entire conversation, he doesn't give you an actual answer, yet he continues. He says, "Speaking with the souls of the damned is a gift, yet it is a curse. Though everyone is already dead, so does everyone bear this curse? Knowing the death is another issue. One who searches to regain their home, but could have another. Archivist turned active. Look for the ones touched by death. Goodbye, young Morgenstern." And just as that, you just feel like the movement of the train kind of like slam into you as you're sitting back in your seat as you were before that strange vision. And I'll say at this point, the friends who are returning do get to return to the cart, just for the sake of narrative.
Constance will arrive back at the cart and have her chuckle it.
Azara probably took like a few extra minutes to collect herself before returning.
Fenris takes a very good chunk of time to collect himself before returning stoic, stone-faced, and reeking of kind of like Emmy.
Nice. I think Oleander sort of is like flustered and hurries to collect the sketchbook that she had thrown across the room but right before Fenris left, and is trying to act super cool and collected. Probably not as well as she normally does. Faye's kind of off her game right now, but she's trying.
Everything all right, Oleander?
Relatively, I think so.
So, do you know how long it'll be till our stop?
It's probably about roughly another hour on the train, but we can kind of bypass that unless there's any RP that wants to be done. I do have one more thing on the train, but it's quick.
Nah.
Mhm.
Oleander spends the time trying to draw the figure that she saw.
Go ahead and roll an intelligence check for me.
Oh.
See how well you can recall this figure.
Can I add my freaking nerd or death becomes her?
Either one, yeah. Whatever one's higher.
17.
You're able to get a pretty good sketch. This figure seems to be burned into your mind. While you don't know their name or their purpose or even their affiliation, you are able to get a pretty accurate sketch down.
Cool.
Okay, real quick then, Azara, on your way back to the train cart after you Kill Bill starts, after you have your little chat with Fenris. With everything going on over the past few days, the past day rather, it's been easy to ignore. But now, since you're alone and more or less cognizant of your thoughts, you can't shake the feeling of being watched. You search around and you look at people who are just reading the same newspaper that you did earlier in the day, and nobody looks suspicious or out of place, but it's just this feeling that's kind of setting on your shoulders a little bit.
Well, I don't like that. Hold on.
I cast Fireball in the train.
I don't know. I guess I will kind of purposefully, casually find a quiet place on the train that's pretty empty, or if there are any empty cars or something like that, and like find a corner wait.
Are you just waiting to see if the sense dissipates?
If it dissipates or if someone approaches me, either one.
Nothing really happens. Time goes by. People walk to the bathroom, walk past, but nobody. Pretty nondescript humans. Yeah, the feeling doesn't really vanish no matter where you go.
Okay, I hate that. I hate it, but I don't know what to do about it.
You don't have to do anything. Just let it. You can just let it sit if you'd like.
Let it
but-
linger, okay? I guess if nothing happens after a couple of minutes, I will return to my friends.
Okay. So the four of you settle back down into your train car. Half of you quietly disgruntled with the other half. A lot of party dynamics going on early, as Sam just said.
You
in
love to
Twitch
see it.
chat, a party of emo kids.
I do have one more thing to do before we
Yeah, go
disembark.
for it. Go for
So Fenris will begin working on his letter again in a huff. And I don't know, how much is Constance blabbing about the chocolate? I need to know for this moment.
Oh, Constance doesn't want to talk anymore.
Uh-oh. Okay.
You upset
Um,
her friend, so she is
Okay,
sitting
wait.
in quiet silence.
And
Oh.
Constance is being quiet as Zara is immediately concerned and starts to be like, so how was your chocolate? Like, what? Please talk to me.
Yeah, Fenris is also like, wait,
Don't leave me alone with my thoughts. Constance, please.
wait. Constance is mindlessly tittering. What is amiss?
Well, she's like talking to Azara, but she's not talking to Fenris or like before she was talking to the whole their whole little cart, but now she is like specifically talking to Azara.
All right, so Fenris is probably sitting back with Oleander, probably gonna get ready to get the chair good to go if Constance hasn't already taken care of that. And he kind of just like folds up the letter, slides it over to Oleander. One more favor to ask. This one doesn't require you to shove a silver blade through my chest.
Oh, I already like it a lot more.
I just want you to. He kind of just like looks side to side. I proofread it for me.
Oh, certainly. That's like I can do that for you. She
You
like
are-
just sort of glances at it and goes, "Oh, your penmanship."
You are always the better one with the writing.
Well, I'm glad to help.
All right, so Sam, I think I've accidentally spoiled that one for you a while ago already. But yeah, it's a letter penned to Sylvia. To give a brief overview, essentially he says he's afraid to face her. Because he thinks that he's become a monster, and he finds it, to quote, comfortably disturbing and disturbingly comfortable that after all these years you have upheld your oath you made to me. But the fact that she had to do that is what disturbs him the most. He asks her not to hold herself responsible for what happened. And then asks her to continue fighting for justice. And then he mentions how much he would have liked to have stayed, but the Emerald Caravan needs him. And he even says, I don't imagine Oleander getting very far if they end up in the wilderness. Oleander, you can't even be mad, it's true. And then even you do see, Faye did tell me of what happened, and I'm very sorry to hear of it, obviously referring to the breakup. Perhaps fate will be kind and you two can find each other again. I'll take care of her and make sure Faye writes. And then he just says, hey, remember who I was before I almost went and like straight up murdered that sheriff, even though it was very well justified. And he tells her his true name, Vercingetorix, Sylvan for victor of 100 hunts. And then that's it. And then, yeah, there you go, Oleander. That's the gist. That's the gist for the audience.
All right. So, as the train ride comes to a close, you eventually reach the station of New Dunlin. New Dunlin is right by Pearl on the map. It's just up the river a little ways. So essentially, Briar is actually seated inside of a valley a little bit, so the train doesn't take you all the way down there because, well, trains and uneven terrain don't exactly go super well. So, as we found out in Steam Spell, kind of in episode 1. New Dunlin is the closest stop that you're gonna get essentially to Briar. New Dunlin is a small town on the Looking Glass River. That is a river in Michigan, by the way. Close in proximity to the towns of Wellbank and Pearl.
You're naming stuff after your real life too?
Yeah.
Sorry
it's
to
good.
interrupt, but I've been doing it a lot lately.
Bandito Barney's. uh, yeah, close in proximity to the towns of Wellbank and Pearl. Some often refers to them as the Tri-Towns because of their close relationship in trade and kinship of people. As you disembark the train, you are immediately greeted with a semicircular crowd of people. The crowd seems to be listening intently to the man speaking in the center. An older human man, deep-set wrinkles surround his sunken, shining blue eyes. He has thin gray hair that trails wispily down the back of his robes. He wears a white robe with faint golden insignias around the cuffs and neckline. He stands in front of a crowd of about 25 to 30 townsfolk and is flanked by 2 younger, larger men in matching, though less fancy robes. You catch this part of his speech. He says, "My children, this way of life is not what Lorelei intended. The land is angry about how it has been treated. Can't you see? Join us in Eden's Grove. Give back to the land in the way it has provided for you. Leave civilization behind and come with me and experience the world in the way our mother intended upon her creation." As he says this last word with a little emphasis, 2 young human men break from the crowd and follow the reverend into the woods. An older human woman stands teary-eyed on the edge of the crowd, watching them go. As the reverend takes his leave into the forest beyond the station, another man steps in front of the crowd. He wears gray studded leather, sports an empty scabbard. Several tattoos stand out against his dark skin. Short cropped black hair pokes out around a thin silver circlet that he wears. The thing you notice about this man more than anything, though, is the look of absolute exhaustion behind his eyes. He says, "All right, everyone, go back about your business." As he dismisses the crowd, he looks visibly annoyed as he moves to console the crying woman from the crowd. Oleander, you notice one extra thing more than the rest do. It's almost as if a shadow stalks this man. You can almost smell something on him. Death is not far away for this man. And I will leave whatever you all would like to do up to you now.
Fenris
Zara saw a person in distress, so she's going to go help.
Fenris is a bit busy bitching at the train for not having a ramp for Oleander's chair. You can just hear him in the distance kind of snarling like a wolf. And what do you mean you don't have a ramp? Oh, and he's just going off.
Oleander's relieved to not have to yell herself right now.
Taking the day off.
Yeah.
So help me, Marofax. I will call up Palma Mouse right now and have
I want to
them-
speak to your supervisor.
Basically.
So Zara, as you approach like the crying woman, you see the previously described man wearing the silver circlet already has kind of gotten to her because you had to push through the crowd a little bit. And he's like, "Marla, it's okay. They'll come back. They're good boys. You know they'll see through the bullshit." And he's just like patting her on the back as you approach.
Hello?
"Oh, hi." And the man in the silver circlet looks over to you.
I'm sorry to pry, but my friends and I are new in town. What was all that about?
Oh, he's kind of like trying to save face at this point. You can tell this man is in a position of leadership in this small town, just by the way he stands and presents himself. And he looks around and he says, I'd be happy to discuss it. Maybe over lunch. I don't really want to scare the townsfolk more than they already are."
That I would appreciate that, but is she all right?
Yeah, Marla, the older woman, she's kind of hunched over. She's late in her years, and she looks over and she's like, "I'll be all right, darling. Thank you." And she just kind of pats you on the shoulder and gives you like a little candy from her purse just for being kind.
Thank you. Sorry, is there anything we can do to help, or?
now as the rest of you probably have made your way kind of closer, at least, I'm just gonna say his name. His name is Emmett. He looks over at you, the man in the silver circlet. When he looks over, he's like, maybe actually there is, as he takes in all of your statures, and he's like, it appears you're adventurers. I could use some help in the town if you're willing.
If you appraise us of the situation, we can see what we can do.
Yeah, why don't you swing by when you find the time? I'm right in the center of town. You can't miss it.
We'll do that. Thank you.
Yeah, and welcome to New Dunlin, I guess. And he just kind of like gives like a faint smile again. Like the smile doesn't quite like get through his whole face. He's just kind of like dead behind his smile.
I wish I didn't relate so much.
Yeah, this again, it's just me. And he like wraps his arm around Marla, the older woman, and like walks her back to the town.
As that
I look back
conversation,
at my friends.
yeah, as that conversation ends, like Constance comes bounding up behind Izara, like, "Oh, what? Did I miss something?"
We can't go anywhere. We can't. Everywhere we go.
Do I need to follow them? Is there a problem?
Well, something's up in this town. I don't know what yet.
Immediately just shapeshifts in the fox scout form. So when Fenris wild shapes, he maintains his color like Beast Boy does, and he keeps his horns. So he turns into like this little purple fox with the little horns and begins bolting towards wherever this mayor guy and Marla went off to, just so we don't miss any sweet details.
Oh, you're trying to eavesdrop a little bit?
We're gonna find an inn!
Go ahead and make just a wisdom check for me as you.
Can I add background stuff?
Yeah.
How does? Oh, where's my character sheet? Come on, character sheet. Where'd you go? There you are. All right. So what I want to do is I'm gonna probably use my lycanthropic curse to eavesdrop because I am using my wild shape ability, which is where I get that power anyway. All right. 24.
Oh yeah. So as you're in little fox form and you're kind of approaching the town. Oh, I didn't upload the town. I'm gonna do that real quick. As you're approaching the town, you kind of hear Emmett and Marla, like his arm around her. He's just saying, "Mac and Mav are good boys, Marla. They'll come home as soon as they realize that Reverend has nothing to teach them. They learned more from their mother, didn't they?" And he just kind of like tries to like poke at her and cheer her up a little bit, and she gives like a faint smile. And she just responds and she says, "Yes, I worry about them. They're smart, or they've got a good head on their shoulders, but sometimes they're as wise as their father was." And Emmett kind of laughs and just like pulls her in close for like a side hug and walks on in.
Wait, do I see any other action going on between Emmett and Marla here? Like, is there some funny business going on here?
No.
I just look. I'm just making sure. Just
no
gotta
funny
make
business.
Sure. Well, look. Fenris is immediately suspicious when Azara's like, first place we stopped, there's shit going down. Like, All right, continue forth with the other characters. I'm considering my next course of action.
Okay, I'm gonna upload the map real quick, so y'all go ahead and have a scene if you'd like.
Well, must we aid every town we pass through?
Zara looks genuinely perplexed. Like the idea of not doing that has not occurred to her.
After all, if it does not pertain to our mission, it may just be a waste of our time. Time that could be better spent towards the greater good.
What is the greater good if not helping wherever we can?
I don't... We are meant to restore the realms, and that is why I am here. I am not here to find missing boys.
When we started this, I was so sure that restoring the realms was my destiny. That was what we were meant to do. And now I don't know if that's true anymore. But I do know that there are people alive and safe today that wouldn't be if we hadn't stopped to help. And I'm not sure about grand destinies and greater goods anymore, but that is something that I can do.
I fear we may have to disagree for the moment. I still believe strongly in my mission, and I want to do both. I want to restore the realms and help everybody that I come across. I do not know if it is possible.
Well, do we know what our next move is when it comes to restoring the realms? Because I'm feeling pretty lost right now, Constance. I'm not really sure where we're supposed to be going to accomplish that.
This is true, and to begin with, there is, out of everybody that is part of the caravan now, it is only us two left who first ventured from Madame Curio's.
I know.
And if this is not the purpose, then what is?
I don't know, Constance. I don't know anymore, and I am very afraid of that. Frankly, ever since Bright Star, I've been trying not to think about that, because every time I do, there's this great abyss waiting for me, when there used to be a North Star. I don't know what to do about that, but I do know that I was taught that doing good, doing what is good when it is in front of you, is never a waste.
I suppose I had never considered that perspective before. I know I am very lucky to have a home that I can still go back to, but I am very afraid of coming back a disappointment.
I know something about that, about being afraid of disappointing someone you want more than anything to make proud. But what makes you proud, Constance? What makes you proud to be who you are?
Constance is just kind of like dumbstruck for a little bit. 'Cause she does not know how to respond to that.
Because I did, Constance. I let that person down. And it turns out that was the best thing I could have done. The only person who has to live with your decisions all the time, every day, is you.
That is a very heavy burden.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose I shall have lots of thinking to do. But I know one thing for sure. I want to stay with the caravan, and I will do what needs to be done so that I can continue to travel with you and continue being your friend.
I am very glad to count you as a friend, Constance. Shall we find an inn?
I suppose we probably should, though I think it is maybe best to let Oleander pick. Faye did not like the one I selected last time.
Faye's taste is so expensive, though, and I do not have very much coin.
Well, and that is why we bunk together.
That is true. Where is Faye?
I think Oleander is like sort of detected Azara and Constance having, a moment and is being particularly aware to give Azara space right now. So I think she sort of veered away from them and is kind of just looking around the town. Because I think seeing that having that sort of sense that Faye got from Emmett, through her, I think that's something that does not happen too often, if, really ever. So I think she's kind of, looking around to try to see if, she can tell if, there's some, anybody else in the town gives, Faye that sort of sense or something like that.
No, it's more just him. You can almost see the shadow of death following him as he walks off into the distance. It's like you can even see his shoulders are slumped a little bit. Even if he doesn't know the weight is on him, it's going to be soon.
Okay. All right. I think that's alarming and concerning for her, so she's kind of very distracted by that. But we'll eventually meander back to the others when she realizes they're done having a moment. I'm not quite sure where Fenris went, but I think it would be good to meet with that gentleman later.
Oh, he went to follow them.
Oh, well, maybe he will have something I missed. I did not speak directly with him myself. Was there... I'm just curious. Did you notice anything strange?
See now, Oleander, that's difficult question. We have not known him for a very long time, and this is a difficult time in someone's life to be getting to know them. I'm not sure what counts as strange.
Okay, I suppose I should rephrase. Did you get any sort of creepy crawly feelings from him? Sort of maybe you might get sometimes from me.
From Fenris?
Oh, no, from
Okay,
the
I was
gentleman in the town.
No. No, I didn't notice anything.
Okay. I'm sure that's fine then. We should find some lodging for tonight.
Well,
Yes.
you got one option in this small town. We're gonna break really soon, but the map is in Roll20 now. I think I moved y'all over. So this is New Dunlin. It's a very small town. A river kind of bisects it, like most of the tri-towns. Point 6 is called the Lying Lamb Inn. It is the only inn in town that has rooms for sale. And note, it is lying as in telling a fib, not lying down. So yeah, something to think about. So we'll take a break here as we kind of explore New Dunlin a little bit and decide what the party wants to do next. So we will see you soon.
Season 2!
Season 2!
Sadness.
Welcome. You find yourselves in the town tavern. Through the typical calm pierces an unfamiliar voice. It sings news of a nefarious power. A bard to herald a call to all who would answer. Seek out this villainy and destroy it. To succeed is to achieve everlasting glory and riches beyond imagining. To fail is to lose everything. Will you answer the call?
Fuck it.
Welcome. You find yourselves in the town tavern. Through the typical calm pierces an unfamiliar voice. It sings news of a nefarious power. A bard to herald a call to all who would answer. Seek out this villainy and destroy it. To succeed is to achieve everlasting glory and riches beyond imagining. To fail is to lose everything. Will you answer the call?
Fuck it.
Welcome. You find yourselves in the town tavern. Through the typical calm pierces an unfamiliar voice. It sings news of a nefarious power. A bard to herald a call to all who would answer. Seek out this villainy and destroy it. To succeed is to achieve everlasting glory and riches beyond imagining. To fail is to lose everything. Will you answer the call?
Fuck it.
Welcome. You find
And we're live. Hello.
Oh, hi.
Uh-oh. Hi. Welcome back.
I always warn you, and you never
I
stop,
know.
so I just
I
have to
know.
go live.
I
It's
know,
our fault,
It's
not
our
yours,
fault,
AJ.
not yours, AJ. We love you.
It's
We're
on us. All right, so we're back. Episode 1 of Season 2 of WovenRealm. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight and bearing with us through the break. So the party has arrived at the town of New Dunlin, one of the tri-towns on the Looking Glass River near Briar. New Dunlin, just some party background info that you probably learned through hanging out at the tavern or whatever you're doing, is under the protection of Briar and Maywood, the two kind of superpowers in this half of the region, not the entire region, just this little northwestern area. So the two are very close allies, and New Dunlin does what they can to help out the domed city of Briar. So the party has, as you walk to the Lying Lamb Tavern, it is right here at point 6, so I'll throw you over there. Point 1 is the town hall, so you can assume that that is where Emmett was talking about that he lives. So you could go visit him whenever. You're able to get a room pretty cheaply, probably just like 2 silver a room. It's pretty cheap around here. It's a very small town. Not much of a vacation destination. The beach kind of has like rocks and shells in it, you know. It's like one of the
Ugh.
bad beaches. Yeah, so
It ain't no Pearl.
it's not Pearl. Then that's why they live in the shadow of Pearl.
Wow.
And so that's kind of what you've got right now. For the audience, the river kind of bisects the town a little bit and slopes through the center of it. The town hall is actually built on top of it with some water wheels continuously droning on and on as they pump through. There's some bridges placed over town so you can visit different people. Just a note, party, all the little houses and hovels, there's probably about 5 to 10 houses for every icon on the map. I just didn't want to put them all. So it's a little bigger than it appears to us, but not too much. And then port 3 is in the top right corner is the train station. So just so you have kind of a concept of where you came from. So yeah, you are free to do what you want. You walk into this tavern. I have a little description for it. Hold on.
All right, Fenris is rejoined at this point since we
Okay.
discussed that
Yeah.
there's nothing further to look into.
Yeah. The wooden sign swings in the breeze with the painted image of a lamb on it. The lamb's face is twisted up in a way that somehow shows it has something to hide, if a lamb could have something to hide. If you ask around, the patrons will never tell you what that is. So don't even bother.
I'm just trying to conjure that mental image. I'm like
It's good, I know.
I'm just picturing a
might
lamb
have been
with like
bashful lamb.
I'm like imagining a lamb with like a little like meme lord grin, like a
Mhm.
little like a little
Yeah, a little-
Robin
Yep.
Goodman grin, like a little.
That's what you got. As is tradition, there is a water-based spirit-born tending bar at the Lying Lamb named Rush. So if you would like to talk to Rush, you can. It's pretty busy, but it's not like full party swing yet. It's probably about midday. The train ride did not take that long over here, especially since you didn't get all the way to Briar. So you've got quite the day ahead of you.
What's going on, Rush? Are you a working man?
What does that mean, friend? And he just like pulls up a bottle of ale.
Oh, it's a bard troop reference. Sorry. Yes, I will have a water, please. And mine companions, what will you be having?
I don't suppose you have any tea, do you?
Yeah, of course we do. And he goes back and 1 tea, and he just yells it behind the bar.
Just some vine.
What is your tastiest beverage?
Well, we have hot cocoa. We love that around
I will
here.
take the hot cocoa.
All right, 1 hot cocoa, 1 tea, some midday wine, and some boring water. And he just kind of like walks
Fine.
off.
Make it a ginger ale.
Oh, there we go, buddy. And he just kind of like ribs you a little bit.
Rush,
he
you don't
walks
want me drinking. I will turn this establishment inside out if I do.
Fair enough. I've heard that before. Many adventurers have come through here.
Yes, but how many of them are literal lycanthropes? Now serve me my drink, friend.
Fair enough. And then he kind of walks off and he points across the street. He's like, by the way, I think your previous question, there's a bathhouse across the road. So Anyways, and he just like goes back and eventually fetches you your drinks after like a 10-minute wait for drinks. It's not the quickest tavern.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Rush, was it?
That's the one.
Oh, we saw something a bit peculiar when we arrived in town. Some sort of creature?
Ah, you're talking about the Reverend.
Reverend.
I'd buy Revland as like a fantasy title.
The Reverend. Reverend Cross. Yeah.
Seriously?
It
So,
means something else here.
what's his deal?
Well, he's, as far as I can tell, pretty harmless. He comes to town every once in a while, preaches his bullshit about how Lorelei created the land for something better than what we're using it for, and then, you know, the hermits of the town, people who aren't happy with Emmett's leadership, or, you know, perhaps just want to live off the land, go with him, and they have a colony somewhere. Never really been, but heard it's nice.
What do they claim the use of the earth is for?
Well, they just think it's more, you know, living off the land type folks instead of the safety of modern walls. And he kind of points out to the stone walls that kind of surround the town.
Let me ask you this, friend. Do they ever make mention of a wolf named Gorgoth?
I haven't heard that, but that's not to say that they don't mention it.
Is there much discontentment with Emmett's leadership?
I guess depends who you ask. I mean, I have no problem with the guy. I think that he's living in a shadow, if you know what I mean. His dad was quite the duke, really beloved, and when he passed a few years ago, Emmett had big shoes to fill. So,
Who was his father?
his father was named Eli, Duke Eli Logano.
Well, that is always a difficult position to be in.
Yeah, he was a lovely man. I think his son is just as lovely. He's a good leader. He's got a little bit to learn, but, you know, I'm not trying to lead, so I have no judgments.
Surely. Has there been anything particularly recent that people are upset about, or just, you know, general discontentment?
Well, I think that New Dunland's in an interesting spot right now. It's right between Briar, Pearl, and Maywood. It's kind of right in the center, so it's a pretty good trade port. But recently, people have been kind of talking about how it's not so safe in the woods around here, so they've been kind of avoiding us. And I don't know if the Duke just knows about it and doesn't have the horsepower to do anything about it, or he's just kind of ignoring it. But I don't really know. I have no ill contentment towards the guy.
Well, I
What's-
appreciate your candor.
What's not safe in the woods?
Oh, I don't know about that one. That's just talk. Drunk sailors come in at night, talk about things they saw moving on the banks before they docked.
I see. Well, thank you for your time.
Yeah, of course. Room's all set for you when you're ready.
Danke. Philander will slide just like an extra silver across to them for the time and help.
He takes it, smiles, kind of does the bite to make sure it's real, because he's been conned by too many drunk sailors.
She doesn't take offense to it. She knows her
off.
money's good.
Walks off and serves a few other people. He's kind of one of those bartenders who sits down on the job and has a drink with people. So
Mhm.
people come in and he just like sits down. He kind of, the more you look at him, he's a pretty tall, muscular guy. Maybe used to be a sailor, has a bandana hanging from his belt, and, you know, maybe retired, but seems to have a lot of friends.
Is one of his friends named Keith?
It's just a river, not a sea. Keith's on the open seas.
Are we
Or
gonna
dead.
ever see a 30-plus-year-old flea?
Hmm.
Grown
Well,
up flea.
I don't think he's changed much.
Just slightly taller.
Yep.
The
Voice is a little
eternal.
deeper.
He can catch so many more seagulls now.
Yeah, it's wild. You wouldn't believe the guy.
I love Flea so much.
Oh, I miss Flea.
So old. Yeah. So, anyways, if you want to talk to Emmett, you can. If not, you could just start making your way to Briar as well. Those are kind of the two options on the table.
I think we should take the time to hear this Emmett out. It, after all, was a cult of Lorelei that Golgoth was a part of. Perhaps.
I agree.
Yes. I'm glad we can finally find something to agree upon, Azara.
I have to say, I am a little concerned. I noticed something strange about Emmett when we arrived.
Oh?
The sort of sense or sort of pallor of, to put it bluntly, death hangs over him, and I don't like it.
That is a concern.
I have not felt that before, and I don't know what it means, and I think it would be good to find out.
I agree.
I mean, maybe he is just a necromancer himself or something, to be honest. I have never met another, but it was odd. Hence my questions earlier.
Yeah, that makes more sense now.
Well, that is certainly disconcerting.
Well, you were saying, Fenris?
I'm trying to make sense of what's going on here. We have a strange cult led by this Reverend Cross. Seems to be convincing children to join the woods. I am interested to see what this Emmett has to say. What say you, Constance? You have not given any input so far.
Oh, I suppose. Yes.
But why?
Why what?
Why are you taking the positions that you are?
It seems like a good idea. I agree.
Does she always do this? Does she just always agree to go wherever you all say and elect to go? She just follows? Is this how it always goes? You tell her, carry bags, and Constance carries bags, and then we say, go here, and she just does it. I'm just a bit
Soren
concerned.
asked her to carry his bag once and then never took it back. The rest of us carry our own things.
And you think fondly upon this man, no?
I'm not doing this again.
I'm sorry, I'm just very confused about the dynamic of this caravan.
I do not understand. What is the issue?
Well, if some jackass told me to carry his stuff, I would have told him no. That's the problem.
Well then, Fenris, it is a good thing nobody is asking you to carry their things.
I feel like Constance is being underappreciated by this group is all.
Fenris, you have known us for... How long has he known us for?
A few weeks at this point.
I am very appropriately appreciated.
All right. But no one asked for your input until I did. And I find that concerning, considering you're one of the original members of this caravan. You're not even having any input. You're letting, like Izara was so kind to point out, a total stranger to guide your direction here. Oh boy, this group needs work.
Did that not work out?
It's not a question of if it works out. You have free will and self-determination. No, do you not have an opinion about what your Emerald Caravan does and where it goes? I thought you had the friends you were searching for. This dragon berserker.
Yes, things have been very difficult. Thank you for pointing out.
I'm not trying to point out the difficulty of your situation. I think that perhaps it's important that you weigh in on these matters as well. As I said, as I pointed out, a total stranger is the one making decisions for your group, and you just nod along. And I find that odd, maybe concerning, is all.
And Constance just takes a big sip of cocoa.
Is it still like really hot?
Doesn't matter.
Oh.
I did not mean to offend. I apologize. We will go meet with this Emmett, I suppose, then.
All right, so y'all stand up. Rush yells from behind the counter, "Enjoy the bathhouse!" sarcastically, as you all like push up to, actually get work done instead of go spend the evening bathing.
I think just sort of on the way out, Olander will like whisper to Fenris, "We need to work on your people skills."
What do you... Just grumbles.
So you walk, you traverse the town, bridge over bridge, and you make it to the town hall. The current Duke and his family live in the town hall. Outside sits a statue to the late Duke Eli Logano. He sits in a beautifully carved wheelchair, and his trusty crossbow sits in his lap, just as the last time the Wrong Turn saw him. And he sits watching over the town of New Dunlin. And so you head in, you're sitting at, there's like stairs up to this. So it's kind of weird. You go over a bridge, then upstairs. It's kind of a strange architectural masterpiece. And you kind of rap at the door a little bit. There's a fine oak wooden door with some intricate carvings, kind of that are the same of his father's wheelchair. So somebody in the family is a carver. And so you knock at the door. There's a few beats, and then Emmett himself answers. He's not looking much more put together than he was when you first saw him, but he does have his sword in his scabbard, at least now. He seems to have found it. And he says, yes, good, you came. Come on in. Yeah, lunch is ready. And he just, walks in and leaves the door open for you.
Great lunch. Follows. Moping.
Yum. So you walk in into this it's like a den area. It's not like a dining room. There's red leather couches or red velvet couches that kind of line areas. There's a few suits of armor. There's a fireplace going, but it seems to be more out of habit because it's not really cold enough to maybe need a fire yet for most people. And so it's just kind of sitting in the corner. Again, he tried to play make his house a little nicer because he was expecting guests, but it's a mess in here. The suit of armor is half there. One of the gauntlets is on the floor, and he's like, "Oh, that just fell," and he puts it on, even though some dust comes off of it as he picks it up. And he shows you to the living room and sits everyone down. A few minutes later, one of his staff that works at his house brings out some food and some drinks for everyone, and there's a pretty good spread here for what you're used to. And so he sits down and he's like, "Yes, so tell me about yourselves. I was so rude to not even ask, but what are all your names? It's a pleasure to have you in the town."
Oh, hello. My name is Constance.
That's a beautiful name. And he just smiles.
And this is the rest of my party. And unless someone stops her, she will continue to introduce everybody.
I feel like once you sort of go, Olander will just be, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
just...
Well, very, very beautiful names. It's a pleasure to meet you all. My name is Emmett Logano. Some people call me Duke, but please don't use that formal title. I'm still not used to it, even after a few years. And so, yeah, I just... The town... I noticed you were adventurers, and I don't mean to commandeer all of your time, and you can definitely say no, but there are so many things going on in the town, and I am so short-staffed that I could really use some help with. On top of it all, I'm trying to plan my wedding, and it's just... It's just a mess.
Oh, you are getting married.
Yes, a lovely woman from Pearl. She's in Pearl, doing all of the wedding is in Pearl. Honestly, I don't know enough of it because I've been so busy, but I really should. That's a priority. And he just like, again, tired of behind the eyes, kind of looks up.
Well,
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What sort of problems is it that you are having?
Honestly, if you want to know the truth, I know we met in the midst of Reverend Cross giving his speech, but frankly, the children of Eden are the least of my concerns. They're somewhat harmless. Sure, they take a few people every now and then, and they live somewhere else, but people are free to live where they want. I'm not going to control that, but I have so many other things. As the Duke of New Dunland, there's other people in towns who report to me for protection, and they're in trouble.
Just a moment, Duke. I don't mean to
No, please, yes.
interrupt. But you say this group's harmless, but this woman that you met with earlier, she seemed quite upset her sons were joining this group. If it was benign, wouldn't she be okay?
Oh, she doesn't want them to leave home. I don't think regardless of where they went, she'd be a dry eye.
Well, in my experience, mothers aren't so dramatic when they see their children leave.
No, you're not from New Dunland.
What other issues have you been dealing with?
So there's several villagers who live out in the woods that also are under my jurisdiction that I try to help and provide resources for that don't want to live inside of the town walls. I was hoping that maybe you could take some supplies to them. I sent some scouts days ago, but they never returned, and I don't know if the supplies even got to them. There's also the problem of the phase loyalist, and he's just like stammering, so sweaty, and he's just like so nervous at this point.
The what?
Phase, the god of dreams and prophecies. We had some priests come into town that have lived here for a long time, and they were going to go reestablish one of Phase's churches out in the woods. Never came back. Could be completely benign, but I just feel it's my responsibility to check on them. But I can't be in every place at once.
So that's two groups of people who have gone into the woods and never come back.
Yes, well, the Reverend seems to come back every time he goes in, so.
Well, isn't that suspicious?
That's worse somehow.
Have there been other groups that have been vanishing in the area, or is it just people from these two?
Oh, no vanishing acts, but I have had some of my sailing friends come by and talk about how there's shadows along the banks as they row their boats towards New Dunland, and I don't know what that means, but...
You didn't think to look into this at all?
Of course I've looked into it, but I'm only one person, and like I said, I'm very short-staffed. Of course I've looked into it.
As he's like talking about shadows and stuff, Oleander's like paying a lot of attention to like this sort of, because you had said she like sort of saw like a shadow looming over him. Is it reacting to things he's saying or doing while we're talking?
I will say that as he continues like stammering through and just like 1,000 words a minute, the more stressed he gets, you notice that the fire is kind of casting a shadow across the room, and that shadow gets a little larger. It's not necessarily in the shape of like a humanoid, but you do notice that shadows are being cast as he continues.
As he's like getting more anxious and whatnot, Fenris will actually kind of disarm the stoic, grumpy appearance and approach Emmett. I almost called him Eli. Fuck.
I bet he gets that a lot.
No, friend. I know a thing or two about having large responsibilities that are almost impossible to see to, and letting that group down and failing them. By my honor, as the last standing member of the Moon Fury Circle of Druids, I will aid you in your town.
All right. Well, thank you. You don't have to pledge yourself to me. I'm barely royalty, but I appreciate it.
I'm making a pledge not to you, but to my dead brothers, sisters, and siblings, whose ashes are scattered in the old enclave.
All right, and he just kind of like pulls his collar a little bit.
Oleander's like, they've been going through some things. Perhaps though, Emmett, you should try to sit down and relax a little bit. You seem very stressed, and I don't think you are doing anybody any good right now. Panicking a little bit. We will have a better grasp of the situation if you can slow down and relax as you
All right.
describe what is going on.
He sits down and he like has like not even intentionally stood up while he was speaking, and he just kind of sits down and slumps back into his like armchair, and he gets out like a little locket, takes a deep breath, and he's like, okay, puts the locket away, and he's like, what more do you want to know? Are you interested in the scouts that didn't return, or the priest that didn't return?
My friend, you seem tired. Do you happen to have a sight beyond sight?
No, this is my only sight. And he like
Start with the scouts, please.
all right, so they were going towards Pearl. There's a little hermit's village on the cliffside between Pearl and New Dunlin, and every other week we alternate taking them supplies, me and Tiva, the Duke and Pearl. And this week my scouts didn't return. And that's really all I know.
How long ago did they set out?
That would be 3 nights ago. It's about a 1-day journey, so they should have been back today. So maybe they're just late, but
How long ago did the priests go missing, and is it in the same region?
the priests they went the other direction towards Maywood, so not necessarily the same direction, but the same woods. And they went missing several days ago as well. I want to say 4. They didn't necessarily announce their departure like the scouts did, but
When was the last time you heard from the folks you were sending supplies to?
months. I don't go myself to check in often because I'm doing things around here.
But the delegation from Pearl was successful?
I don't know. I haven't been able to make the trip. I wish I could see Ariel, his fiance. But
Well, we'll certainly look into it.
Yeah.
all right. Thank you. Just tell me which one you're going after so I can go after the other one or send somebody else to do so.
I think I'm in the market for a new religion after my recent experiences.
I would recommend, sir, that you don't send anyone else after the other group until we've completed an investigation. It could be dangerous.
All right. He kind of like, it's almost like he kind of really keys in on your faces for the first time, and he's like, "You were the heroes from Badger Creek, weren't you?"
Some of us.
He's like, "All right, well, the town is in good hands then," and he kind of stands up and
Well, Emmett, the town's in good hands because they have a man of action such as you taking care of them. Why don't you focus more on keeping the town safe? We will see to this group in the woods. After all, I am a druid.
all right. Thank you all. It means a lot to have your help. Genuinely.
Thank you for asking us to assist you in your time of need. That must have been difficult. And he turns around and walks out.
Try to get some rest. Again, you will do your own town no good if you work yourself into an early grave.
He smiles and stands up and shows you out. As soon as you're ready, you can finish, drinks, food,
Yeah.
whatever. But he smiles, thanks you again, points in the direction, and he stepped down off of the stairs, off of the stoop of his house. So you are set to either head south towards Pearl and investigate the scouts that went missing, or head east towards Maywood and investigate the priest that went missing.
I'd be more inclined to investigate the scouts, because if we do that, then we can investigate the villagers as well, or the folks of the outlying towns. Whatever.
Oh yeah, I thought one of the options was like look into this Reverend guy.
No,
I mean,
there's
you can
the-
try. There's no clear-cut direction where he is at.
Yeah. Oleander supports the scouts too.
Yes, it would be dangerous for New Dunland to lose its connection to its logistical heartbeat, so to speak. You should check there.
All right. So the party.
Wait, before we continue, Fenris will make a point to ask if Constance thinks this is the proper. Constance, what do you think we should do?
Yes.
Okay. We look for the scouts then.
So you gear up, saddle up, whatever, and you begin journeying to the south towards Pearl, but not intending to go to Pearl all the way. There is a small town of hermits that just prefer to not live within city walls, and they're located between Pearl and New Dunland. Was your directions? He gave you directions slightly off the road. So as you begin your journey, we're going to go back to a Chris classic. If someone wants to roll a D100 for me as we are journaling. Journeying?
It's been so long. Who wants to do it? I think I've got some if we need.
Ooh, okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, mine are right here. 23. Sorry in advance.
At least it wasn't 69.
I mean, I
Yeah,
wish it was.
No,
Well,
you
there
read
is a
that.
bathhouse in town.
Nice.
So you're walking, you're making your way rather towards, the south towards Pearl, and all of a sudden, I'll roll a d4 for this, I guess. Oleander, you just all of a sudden just get beamed in the head with a rock, and you're like,
Ah, scheisse!
and you look up because of the trajectory it came from, and you see this woman just dangling from this cage, like 30 feet up in a tree, and she's like, "Hey, help me down!" And like from the angle you see, you can't really like see her at all. You just see her like little head stick out between the bars. She's like, "Hey, up here, help me!"
Ah, the fuck! You could have just yelled, scheisse! Oleander's somehow more indignant than the person in a cage right now.
She's like, "Last time I tried that, they just walked past. I'll have you know." And they just kind of like are like moving the cage, trying to like shimmy it off.
Why are you in a cage?
Long story, and their head just peeks over again and peeks back.
Okay.
Well, we have time.
I'm a horse thief, okay? And then she just pokes her head back in.
How did you get a rock up there?
I mean, that's a good question.
Good question. I'll tell you if you get me down. And they just like keep poking their head. It's like this comical thing. Like you can just see their head floating above.
I'm just picturing
Oh,
the freaking
you
French
in
dudes
there.
from the Holy Grail.
Perhaps she found the rock in the tree.
Elderberries.
Perhaps she found the rock in the tree.
Where would one find a rock in the... I do not often find rock in trees.
Well,
Ooh.
a squirrel could have carried it up.
A squirrel? Carry a
It's
rock?
so frustrating that you're talking about the rock. I'm in the cage.
Perhaps
put
he
you in
trained
the
a
cage?
sparrow.
Who put me in the cage? Town guards.
Oh, well, if this is a legitimate prison service, like, we can't just release you. That's against the law.
I
But-
mean, what is the law, really? And she's just
The
like,
law.
yelling,
This is a very good point. Soren would ask, what is the law really?
Well, this
And
is
I
it.
would reply that it is the law of the land, that if we break it, we will be punished.
Oh, that is
Yeah.
also a good point.
Yeah, I've already...
Rock.
Look, no one's around. Just let me down. Unlock me.
Fenris is just like, all right, let me see it.
We're such a shit show.
You just keep walking by this woman.
You alright, Oleander?
Yeah, that just I only have 24 hit points.
Perhaps,
23. She just
perhaps
launches
it-
another rock.
perhaps they should extend your sentence for bad behavior.
This is assault.
Look, can you at least climb up and give me some food? I'm starving
Did I
up
leave
here.
you up there without food? That seems
Yeah,
like
this-
cruel and
this
unusual
sucks.
punishment.
Yeah.
Yeah, just leave him.
Without food, though? How long
Constant-
are you sentenced to be up there?
I don't know, like 3 weeks? They're not coming back for me.
Constance will
Without
do
food?
like
Yes.
Constance will do like a little aha and then open Soren's bag and start digging through there to see if he has any food.
Just
Were you put to death for stealing horses?
There is no food in Soren's
What?
bag. He's a lean man. He's got a regiment.
Oh, okay.
There's
Does he
just a
have
few
edible
granola bar
objects?
wrappers in the boat.
The Herbalife shakes.
I wasn't put to death, but like, have you met the guards around here? They're not gonna come back for the horse thief tied up in the tree 30 feet in the air.
Yeah, she does have a point.
Yeah, I feel like we should give her some food.
All
Is
right.
The cage, is it like a chains deal? Is it secured with ropes?
Yeah, it's like chained on a heavy branch up in the tree, and it's just kind of like dangling over the road.
What is it with the justice systems in these parts?
Maywood's not very kind to its criminals.
Clearly. This seems harsh for stealing horses.
So you're gonna let me down?
No.
Okay. That kind of sucks.
We will
Yeah,
give
but-
you some food, though. Give us a minute.
Okay, take your time.
No,
I'm just hanging out.
Look,
I
don't
get
feel,
it.
I
Thank
don't
you.
feel comfortable if someone does see us giving them food. There goes all good faith that Emmett had with us.
It's not like we're letting her out.
No, but if something were to happen, say when we were giving the food, and this crafty prisoner who somehow defies the laws of physics with rocks in the tree.
I think you may be overreacting.
You did not get hit with the rock.
That's
Y-
true,
yes.
but neither did Fenris.
Yes, but it could have been one of us. And imagine if it hit Oleander in just the right place on Fairhead.
I'd be dead.
Yeah.
Constance,
She
you
only-
feel like climbing
She only has
over?
24 hit points.
Well, 23 now.
Constance, what do you think?
Thank you.
I mean, I suppose I could
Didn't do it
climb
for
up
you.
there.
Pardon, Constance?
I suppose I could climb up there.
I mean, I can send some things up arcanely if we just want to leave a care package, so to speak.
Oh,
Yeah,
that is a
I
good
can turn
idea.
into a bird and fly it up to the person.
Oleander's gonna sort of start going through Soren stuff too. Did he leave any like lock picks or something?
Oh, absolutely, he did.
She's gonna throw some into like whatever care package we're making, with sort of the theory being like, yo, if this person can get herself out, it's not
Yo,
my
they-
fucking problem.
Azari didn't see that happen.
Oh no, she's not telling anybody.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah,
just like,
Azari-
oh, let me put something together.
That's not sarcasm.
Wow.
Canonically, Azar didn't see that happen because I don't want to have this fight right now.
One of my old adages, my old crappy cars. If they can get it started, they can have it.
Kind of, yeah.
So you're just gonna like mage hand it up there, fly it up there,
Yeah.
somebody?
This
Okay.
creepy skeletal Oleander mage hands will like fly up a little bundle that definitely has the lockpicks wrapped in there
Okay.
too.
She like undoes it. You kind of get like a better view of her face as she leans over now. She's got long red hair, shaved on one side of her head, but it's all the way down to like past her shoulders. It's wavy. She's very pretty, but she's been, kept in a cage for weeks, so wear and tear. And she just kind of like leans over. She's like, "Thank you so much. Sorry about the rock." And if I ever see you again, I'll tell you how I got rocks up here. And she just kind
I
of like
would
sleeps.
love to know.
Wait, real quick, what's your name?
My name's Magnessa.
Okay.
What's yours?
No.
Wilhelmina! Oleander yells up with a fake name.
Amazing.
Dead laugh.
These all sound like fake names.
Not really her fake name.
It's a name I've used in the past. He's under me.
Yeah,
I mean,
like
she's under me.
like Oleander says it second naturedly for sure, not like she's thinking about it. Just for the record, Wilhelmina is also actually one of her middle names, so she's not totally lying.
Yeah, and I'm actually using Fenris's actual middle
Yeah.
name too. So actually, they're both using.
Oleander's like,
Ha!
"Damn
Suck
it!"
it! Suck it, Magnessa.
All right. Well, this was fun. We have a disappearance to investigate, though, so shall we?
Oh yeah, you seen anything super weird around? You know, besides this?
Yeah,
Rocks.
of course.
Going up trees.
I've seen tons of shit.
Like,
I'm not gonna fucking tell you. You won't let me out of here.
we gave you food?
I mean, it's fair enough. Just, you know, if there's like something terrible going around murdering people in the woods, I thought maybe she would want people to know before it came back this way. But okay, we can keep going. Good luck!
And that's when I turn into a
Thanks.
werewolf out of the side of the cage and turn back towards the tree like.
Fake out.
She just like pushes the cage back so she can't see you, and it just like rattles on the tree.
All right. Well, this was supremely unhelpful.
Well, that was my mitzvah for the day. Let's go.
I tried. And Azara, I wasn't thanking you for me. I was thanking you for hearing the words that I've said. Anyway, let's go look for this missing scout party.
It's kind of insulting that you think I think so little of my closest friend.
Well, I just find it concerning that your friend doesn't ever feel that she can voice her opinion. That's not a good sign of friendship.
And he just keeps walking.
Constance, do you feel like you can't voice your opinion?
What? Oh, no, never.
Never, you feel like you can't voice it? Oh.
No, I never feel that way. I'm very sorry for the confusion.
I'm just glad you don't feel that way. Maybe this is a little unfair, but I find myself quite irritated by the fact that Fenris is passing judgment on us so soon.
Is this being said in front of Fenris?
No, it's being said to Constance, like 10 feet behind, quietly.
Oh, okay. Yes, I do not know why he wants to be part of our group if he does not like us.
I think he likes you.
No, he seems especially cross with me.
Well, he was trying to defend you.
I was not doing a good job being defended, I know.
Wait, what? No, what? That's not how that works.
Well, he seemed rather upset that I was not... I don't know, more?
You have a right to set your own boundaries, Constance.
Okay.
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 Great stuff. All right. So as you continue through the forest, eventually come across the sound of steel on impacting like the ground essentially. You walk around the corner, and up ahead of you, you see two humanoids, shovels in hands, digging around the base of a giant tree. Not giant, but a large tree. You see two humanoids and then a third slouched against the tree, and this is Reverend Holden Cross. You walk up and you see the same individual with the sunken face and the deep blue eyes, and he says, before you can even call out to him, he says, y'all were at the station, weren't you? Here starts the Children of Eden's borders, unfortunately. I'll have to ask you kindly to keep your distance, and he just gives you like a sickeningly sweet smile.
Do you have, like, permits?
Oh, dear, nature's our permit. This is our grounds.
Okay, that's bullshit. Thank you for your time.
Are you just gonna keep walking?
Yeah.
No one owns the earth. No one.
Alright, well, if that's the way you feel, Druid, keep walking. Not the only Druid in these parts.
You're an insult to what it is to be a druid. Cross.
Yeah, that's where
I
you're
don't-
wrong, Brennan. I'm not one.
I don't suppose you saw any messengers bearing supplies come through this way.
Well, probably did, but it's been a while, so
It's been 3 days.
I'm not the eyes and ears of the forest. Ask a Druid.
We just got here.
Alright, carry on then. Carry on. But don't say I didn't warn you about what's to come.
And why, of everyone who goes into this forest, are you and your little group the ones who are unscathed while everyone else has gone missing?
You want to know why, my friend? And he just like sits down on a stump. The two men who are have been shoveling around the base of the tree have stuck their shovels into the dirt and have like leaned against, crossed their arms in a little threatening manner. He sits down between them on the stump, and it really gives like a silhouette of both of them, kind of like protecting him. He's clearly the head honcho here. He's like, I treat the earth with respect. Your friends in New Dunlin, they build upon her. They use the land. They don't let Lorelei decide what she wanted.
Well, I come from Shiverdelve, and in my experience, those who follow Lorelei are not to be trusted.
And he like kind of is brandishing the sword a little bit to show him like, I'm not messing around either. Try me.
Listen, we're not here for a fight, okay? We just want to make sure those messengers are all right.
All right, why don't y'all carry on into the woods then? My treat.
Your treat. The woods
For
are
someone
not-
who's so convinced of letting the earth decide, you're awful keen to put boundaries on it.
I'm protecting her, dear. There's things in these woods that only meant for the faithful to see.
Oh, great.
But if you want to find out on your own, head on up to that village where the scouts went missing.
I think we will.
All right, safe travels.
Once we're out of earshot, Fenris is just leaning over to everyone.
I do not like that man.
Nope.
Just keep your wits about you.
They're the two goons that he have. They kind of follow you for a little while, just like, not gonna start a combat, but just to kind of poke into your business, see which way you're heading, stuff like that. They head back eventually. You hear in the distance, safe travels.
So I'm not about to start a fight, but if these guys step...
Oh man, oh no. Here I am thinking I'm gonna cause the violence tonight.
Zara's on edge. She's a fucking powder keg.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the
Cannon.
violent one in this group.
Soren left and Azara's just
Yep.
like, fuck it.
He passed on all of his angst.
There's so much angst in this camp, in this party right now. They need to let it out.
They've been through 3 party members now.
Mhm. Let's try 4.
Like,
Oh,
I
God.
get it.
So you continue moving along. As you make your way south, you continue through. You eventually come across 3 little houses in the distance. You ascertain, you put together that this is probably the place you're going to. The houses seem more made from the land than New Dunland does. They're kind of made out of the cliffside that they sit below, and they're more like caves that have been sculpted into towns. You can see that either the Lorelei faithful have sculpted this place, or it's just hermits who don't like living near people. As you approach, I'm assuming you approach, as you kind of approach the front door, and I will leave it up to you what y'all want to do.
Well, first things first, cursory look around. Does it seem like anything's out of place?
I mean, first thing, there's no, like, signs of life here. There's not, grinding of an axe or anything. There's no water wells, nothing like that.
We don't see any, like, sign of the scouts and supplies either. Like, some abandoned caravan of materials or something.
No.
Are there any strange smells in the air, like any decomposition, anything like that?
Go ahead and make a wisdom check.
Okay, hold on.
What a sound.
I was like,
300.
My dice.
I don't care. I didn't ask the size of the room. I said I cast fireball.
Would my child with a Fae background help here?
Probably not.
Oh, well, it's 19 on the dice. I have a +5 for wisdom, so.
Ooh.
So with 24, what was it? Smells? What are you looking for?
Yeah.
It's not like, how do I describe this? It's not human decomposition, but it smells like rotting, like dying plants. Very, very specific smell. It's it's not death and decay so much as just life being undone.
So like the fridge when you left the tomato in there too long.
Yeah, I just cleaned
This
mine.
picture, I
today,
don't
so-
like it.
Do you guys smell that?
Yes, unfortunately.
It's not blood, but it is odd.
Smells like plant.
Like leaf litter.
That's
Mhm.
odd.
We are in a forest, I don't know. It's not
Yeah,
exactly
but-
my area.
This is odd.
Usually the smell wouldn't be so rancid from just leaf litter.
Well, should we follow it? It seems our only clue for now.
Yes, I believe if we are to follow anyone's judgment on this, it would be you, if you are kind of part dog.
What did you just say?
Anyway, let's follow the smell.
No. Constance, please enlighten us. What other part in my blood is there that's going to be so fucking useful right now?
As Fenris raises his voice, you hear just like a thump inside, and you hear
Luscious.
like footsteps.
Hello?
Just thump, thump, thump. Pause.
I'm
And
just-
the door just shatters out towards you as this
Oh, fuck.
man who has vines just like crawling through his skin walks out at you. As at the same moment, these like skulls that have been hidden under the underbrush come up with vines crawling through them, and we're gonna head over to the roll 20 if
Oh,
you want to roll
shit!
initiative.
Hey, Noir's in chat!
Shaw, we need you.
Shaw,
We need our
we
tank.
you!
Please,
Shaw,
Yeah,
we
oh my
have
god, we
you!
do.
Fly him in.
Shaw, we can't get anything done!
I got a 22.
Oh yeah, I'm in charge of
Things are
initiative.
not going well.
I'm sure it's fine.
This is
Do you
Oh,
know
I
how
could delete
good.
Violetta from the fucking turn order.
Oh, is that going to be cathartic or what for you?
Yeah, she's gone.
Abby, I'm sorry to get really mean with you there. I'm
It's
sorry.
okay.
That's you hit the instant berserk button.
I'm absolutely killing Violetta before
And the
I'm
worst
done
part
DMing.
is,
Are you kidding me?
she was
What?
trying to compliment you. Is the worst
Oh, I
part.
know. I know, but like you had for people who missed it in season 1, that's like basically how everyone insulted him and his like fellow druids, with just calling them dogs.
All right, Fenris initiative.
Yeah. Oh, I gotta roll that. Yeah, that's right. It's Dex plus
Constance
level, right?
initiative. Yeah.
Yeah, Dex and level. It's an 11 for Oleander. I'm in the thingy though.
Oh, holy shit! I think you beat me almost.
Hey, I think this is like the first time I've rolled double-digit initiative as Oleander.
Fuck. Yo, Sam, is it really a campaign if Sam's initiative rolls are good? Is it?
Oh,
Not
Alex,
now.
What?
I need to send you the new dimensions for the map thing, because now
Oh,
we've got the
shit.
captions.
I mean, it looks okay from my angle right now, at least.
I'm sorry.
No, it's not your fault. I totally didn't even think about it.
9.
Okay, Constance initiative.
23.
Oh, it's like only like a little bit off. That's
Oh,
not
yours
too
was
bad.
on there. Sorry, I
Look
deleted
at
yours.
this cool isometric map.
Yeah, Epic Isometric. Check them out. It's really fun. Tokens were done in Hero Forge because I'm basic like that, and also their pro account lets you do that fun thing where you can like basically use it like a fantasy doll maker. It's a good time. And that
Initiative.
and yeah, check out those. Look at the and then like they got that sweet wheelchair action for Oleander.
Hell yeah.
Constance's token has Soren's backpack on her back. All that fun
We should
stuff.
post these in the Discord too. Like, if
Oh, I
people
will.
want to see, 'cause they're pretty cool.
Yeah, we will.
They're great. Okay, Podling rolled a 13.
Podling, oh,
The Claw Flower rolled an 8.
Well, now I don't want to kill them. It sounds cute.
oh, Hup. I can't hurt Hup.
Yeah.
Spoon Paladin.
Paladin! I was thinking about that show the other day.
Yo,
I was thinking it's time for a rewatch.
Yo, low key. I think it's time for a Dark Crystal rewatch, channel party style.
Aw,
I
yeah.
love the Dark Crystal.
Never seen it.
What?
You what?
Chris, excuse me. Jim
Yeah.
Henson is a fucking filmmaking genius. You get the fuck out of chat right now.
I grew up on that movie.
Same.
I
I'm
grew
pretty sure
up
the
on
Dark
that,
Crystal
yeah.
explains literally everything about me that any of you know.
It's okay.
I
lot
was
of
watching
my-
that movie way too young to be watching that movie.
Same.
Look,
Same.
I didn't watch it until the panini, so don't feel too bad.
Oh man, my dad does
the
a
good old
great
panini.
Skeksis impression.
My brother and I would do that with each other all the time when we were kids. Would just be like, hey, and just get that
Oh, it's
shit-eating
sad.
grin, and just it could be like no context, and just be like, hey, what's up? Mm.
All right.
Oh, that's so good.
So we're
Chamberlain.
gonna get going here.
Oh, shit.
So basically what happens, Constance, you're top of the order. But while I describe, from this house, a hulking man of just vines and foliage covers him, and he walks out. He's wearing like old robes, clearly the denizen of this house. At the same time, these like large hulking creatures, masked vines with flowers in the center, and these like gnashing teeth emerge on both sides of the forest from you, and those are the podlings. And then again, at this same moment, all the claw flowers step out, and they're just skulls with vines through them and flowers at the end of them. So, Constance, you were up first. You're right here, just because I know we have new tokens. I want to click everyone, show them
Mhm.
where they're at. But
That's handy.
Yeah.
Very handy. Yeah, we've you'll notice between the seasons, we even have stylistic changes between the GMing and the maps. How fun is that?
how fun! So, Constance, you were up
Yes.
first. You've got 3 claw flowers on you. You've got a hulking vine smashing through the front door towards you.
They're just like the ones in front of me. Those are just like mooks, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to attack the one in front of me, and I'm gonna smite.
Cool.
Oh, boo. Okay, I rolled a 3 on the die, so I'm gonna assume this probably isn't gonna work out.
Let's check. Their AC is 16.
You
so
know.
probably not. Yeah.
Sadly.
So yeah, you take your. Are you using a staff now? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you take your staff and you just like smash down on the top of the skull, and it's surprisingly resilient with all the vines twisting through it, and like almost strengthening it. And you hit it, you just don't do any actual damage.
Sad. Okay. I just do
Anything
bonk.
else?
I will activate my halo.
Halo is up, and Azara, it is now your turn.
I cast Shield of Faith on myself, on Fenris, on Constance, and then I summon my Motes of Starlight, and that is my turn.
Okay. Let me switch over to those real quick. Oh, you got it, Alex?
I got you, man.
Okay, thanks.
It's easier.
Yeah. So, as you end your turn, the hulking vine is up. Fenris, you're kind of left holding the bag here, and you're kind of in the front of the door, just the way the tokens fell. And you watch as the hulking vine just smashes through some of the debris, like the planks of wood that were used to create the door, just kind of batter you across the face. At the same time, he just jams both of his fists into the ground, and vines just come out and wrap around you. He's going to try to hit your physical defense.
And then Fenris just kind of, as he's like pulling the sword out, running his hand, light it up with fire. He's just like, "All right, Freya, hopefully that training pays off."
That's only a 13 against physical defense.
Well, ooh, I actually have a decent PD. Let me check that. It does not hit.
Okay. So like these vines just like crash out of the ground around you, and as a druid you can tell these are not just typical run-of-the-mill vines, and you're able to just kind of like slash through them as they recoil, and the hulking vine just kind of like calls out and shrieks in this like unholy weird language, and that's his turn.
Oh boy. Oh, and I'm engaged now. That's not good.
Yeah, he's gonna move
That
towards
because
you.
that was gonna be my move, was to run away.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Oh, sorry, it's not your turn, I lied.
No, I know. It's just
Yeah.
I'm just
I
saying,
said
like, that
that.
was my move.
Yeah. So the podlings are up next.
Hup.
Let's see what the podlings do.
They smite with spoons. Honestly, that'd be kind of terrifying though. Like a whole little like swarm of podlings with just a ton of spoons.
These are sick. So both of the podlings, they're gonna like coil back, and these just like thorns, just hail of thorns at all of you. This is gonna hit everybody, and I'm rolling against your physical defense.
Okay.
That's a 14. Not rolling super well.
I mean, hits Oleander. I'm super
Makes it
squished.
beats
Nope.
it. 14 is my PD.
So just two of you. So Azara and Oleander, you both take 7 piercing damage as these thorns just like, it's literally like a storm of arrows on you as you just like crouch down and take cover against your head, as both of them like synchronize their attack at the same time. And that is the podling's turn. So Oleander, you are up next.
Okay. I'm gonna point to the massive tentacles. That's gonna be 15, right? Yeah, escalation is at 1. 15 versus physical defense.
On the
The
guy in front of you.
tentacles, yeah.
That hits.
All right. I'm gonna hit it with Death's Gauntlet. So it's actually gonna be taking ongoing negative energy at the end of its turn for a total of 8. And it can spend a standard action to strike out at the like ghosts that Oleander sort of summons, like these dark wraithy spirits just start like clawing and clinging to it.
Neat. Yeah. Okay. Anything else?
That's it right now. I think I'll sort of stay where I'm at. I don't want to try to squeeze past anything.
Yeah. Sounds good. Fenris, you are up. Your first official turn as a part of the Emerald Caravan.
I want to use my shapeshifty powers, but Fenris is feeling very unsure of himself with them right now. So he's just gonna lash out with Moon Shadow against the big massive vines, of course. I am bad at math.
Same.
24 versus AC.
Oh yeah, that hits.
All right, so let's see. And then that will be for 9 points of damage.
Okay.
2 of that's fire, if that matters.
Ooh, it does. Yeah, so he's actually going to take more ongoing damage because he used fire against him.
Sweet.
So he's up
Fenris,
to 10 ongoing damage.
So Fenris, for a moment, he shifts into the fox as these vines are like whipping at him. He's kind of like just jumping around in fox form, dodging them, and then runs forward and shifts back into his natural form, just slashing out with the sword, landing at the feet of this vine creature. I would also like to use one of my general feats, monster lore. Once per battle, you can ask the GM one question about a creature's mechanics that they will answer truthfully, such as, is its PD or MD higher? Does it have resistances or vulnerabilities? What type of elements are its attacks? And I want to know about these chunky boys, higher MD or higher PD?
They have a higher PD than MD.
And okay, let's see. So Fenris is kind of like surveilling the battlefield, and he's starting to get like the hunter vision, the Lycus vision, as his vision goes red instead of just black and white. And he can kind of just see, like, you said they have a higher PD.
They do.
He can kind of tell, like, these vine-born creatures, they're very much of the earth and stubborn like the earth, but weak of the will because, well, they're made of plants. And he shouts this out and informs his friends.
Sounds good. Yeah, in your Lycus vision, you can actually see like the vines through the ground that are reaching out towards the party, and how far this massive vine spreads around this little area. Okay, the clawflowers are up next. They all act as a group. So 3 clawflowers, the 2 trios at least. So 3 clawflowers are going to latch onto Constance. Constance, you watch as these 3 skulls just like jump at you all at once, and this is against your armor class. Oh, that's 22?
No.
Nice. So yeah, they like launch at you, and you just like swing your staff through them and just like bat all of them against the building, and just like crawl back into the earth as they recede. And then the other 3 are all gonna jump at. Let's go with Azara. That's a 12 against your AC.
That's a miss.
These dice are betraying me. So they all launch at you again, and you just like you reach out your hand, and this like holy light just like blasts them out, and they just recede back into the earth. And that is their turn, unfortunately. The escalation die moves to 2. Oh, I just deleted it somehow.
Oops. Did we defeat the monster? Yay!
Yay! And
said it's at
Constance,
2?
you were up. Yeah, now we have 3 2s here. What's going on?
I got you. I actually just track it on the map.
That's what I was doing too, but it was weird.
Oh.
Okay, Constance, your turn.
Okay, we're gonna try this whole smiting dealio again.
Yeah.
Oh, cock die. Oh, okay. It's a natural 19 plus like 9, so.
Yeah, that hits for sure.
Okay. $15 damage.
15 damage. You just like as you're whacking the skulls across to the building, you just hit all 3 of them perfectly with your staff, and all 3 of the skulls just shatter as they smash across the building, and those 3 are gone because they share HP. Whoops.
Oops.
I love those mook rules so much.
So they are gone.
With the rest of my turn, I'm gonna run into the next zone.
Yep, you run across as the vines are just kind of like weaving towards you. You just like dash across, jumping like stone over stone away from the vines, and you make it in there. And Azara, you were up.
I am going to trigger my shooting star attack. My 3 little motes of starlight can hit 3 targets I can perceive. How rough is the vines confronting Fenris? How rough do they look?
Pretty rough. There's
Okay.
chunks missing, vines splattered.
And can I see that terrifying the hulking vine creature that Constance is running towards?
Yeah, you can see both of them. You're in the perfect spot.
Woo! I'm going to send 1 mote to the one that Fenris is fighting and 2 to big, scary tentacle thing.
Okay.
The one, hold on, aimed at Fenris's enemy is a 17. It's a 17 to hit.
Armor class?
Yes.
Yep, that hits.
Yay. That's shit. 1d10. Seven holy damage.
So as you let out the mote of starlight from the Lance of Stars, you watch as like the ghost that Oleander kind of has across this hulking vine, like just tear open like a hole in the vines, and the starlight just like hits the center core and like emblazons the fire that Fenris has going on it, and it just melts away as there was a cool little team up move.
Excellent. And then 2 for Constance's tentacle monster. Another 17 to hit.
That hits.
So that's another 7 points of damage.
Okay, 7 more.
And oh, well, that's only an 11.
That misses,
Yeah, I
unfortunately.
figured.
So yeah, one of the motes of starlight, Constance, it whizzes right over your shoulder as it just impacts this vine creature, the podling. Yeah, that's their Zara's turn. Both of the podlings are up. You watch as the podlings reach down into the ground again as their 6 vine like appendages go into the ground, and all 6 are going to attack AU Constance. It's 1 roll though, so don't panic.
Okay.
17. That's probably a miss, right?
Against
your AC.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, they just like you're just like running through this like swampy forest, just trucking through these like razor sharp tentacles are just berating you, pauldron after pauldron, step after step, and you're just not taking any damage. They can't get through to you. The other podling is going to do the same thing against the closest enemy, which is Fenris, and that is 24 against AC.
Oh fuck, that hits.
Yeah, that was a pretty good roll finally.
Hey man, I get it. I've been there.
Yeah. 11 points of slashing damage.
Ooh.
These like just razor sharp vines just slash across you, tearing up your cloak a little bit.
I thank God I dumped charisma for those con points.
And that's at the end of the podling's turn. You watch as they both just like recede back into the ground and disappear. And they are gone. Okay, Oleander, you are up next.
Okay, so the creature Constance is fighting just vanished?
Yep, they both like receded back into the hole of the ground that they sprouted out of.
Okay. Oleander had been about to go over to try to help, but I guess she's just gonna be like, well, alright, and I'll turn around and magic missile the remaining, what are they, the claw flowers that are still out?
Yep.
So I'll just magic missile one of them. It's gonna be an auto hit for 8 force damage.
8 force damage is enough to put them down as you send out like 3 black spectral motes, and it just impacts skull after skull, just right between the eyes, cracking and just splitting the skull in half, and they are gone. So at this point, combat is effectively ended. The 2 giant podlings have vanished into the ground, and everything is gone. At this, I'll say at this point, there's not going to be another combat, so you all are free to check around before we wrap the session.
Okay.
Fenris is still like calming down. Like the flames of his sword have turned blue because he's very upset right now, and he just kind of just is calming himself down, leaving it open for everyone else to search around.
Yeah, Constance will look around. She
Okay,
wants to search for
Yeah,
for loot.
same.
Yeah,
Oleander's looking for information more than anything.
I want to investigate with Oleander, like what happened here, what is going on.
Yeah.
So
And
I'll
it's
say,
probably the cult of Lorelei's fault.
So we can skip rolls. So you search, you fucking turn over this house, and there is not a shred of information or paperwork here. What you do see, we'll say whoever wants to, all of you, you all like head around back of the house and like kind of into the forest, the side of the building facing the forest, and you see this big scratched in X on the side of the wall. That's what
Can
you
I
see.
tell what made it? Was it like a claw or a weapon or?
Sure, go ahead and make a wisdom check.
That's a natural one. I have no idea.
Not quite sure.
Sure is an X, and it sure is there.
Yep.
Well, that's a strange.
Very.
This is like the only building, right? Like the only structure in the area. Sorry.
There's like 3 little houses here, and they like you walk around and they all have like this big
Okay.
X.
They all have it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Would I be able to tell what made the X by chance, having an understanding of beasts
Go ahead and
big and
make a-
small?
Make a wisdom.
Sure. I'm gonna add my background. Enclave druid. Pariah enclave.
Okay.
13.
13. So you kind of like, Fenris, you kick over one of the like little claw flowers that was killed, and you kind of pull their vine up and the razor sharp part. You kind of like etch it into the groove, and you can ascertain that either this thing or something much larger made this.
And I'll just have him say to himself, maybe just inaudibly, like meant to be to himself. If someone hears it, fine. And he's just like,
Well, at least I found out it wasn't a dog that made these marks.
Are there any arcane symbols or perhaps religious symbols anywhere?
No, nothing like that. I will say that really the last thing to find here, which is again pretty evident, there's like 3 little houses, and in between the 3 of them, under the undergrowth, the grass has really grown over, vines wrapped around these homes. You see 3 dead bodies, all bearing the new
you see
Dunlin
3 dead
crest.
bodies. NBD.
Wait,
Yeah.
sorry. All what?
They all have the new Dunlin crest on them.
Okay.
Ooh. So most likely our scouts, huh?
Hmm.
We should bring them back so they can be put to rest.
Yeah, I would have to agree, but I think whatever is leading these plants is responsible, and I have my theories.
As do I. But we can't act on that now.
No, not enough proof.
We should
can-
take these people back to their families.
Yeah.
What
And
was that, Oleander?
I was going to agree. We can bring the remains back with us and head to perhaps seek answers where that the phase priests headed. If they have met the same fate, it would be good to know the spread of these creatures. Because that's what's quite a distance comparatively. I mean, I know we are in the same woods, but
It's the complete opposite direction.
yeah.
All right. So, as you round up the bodies of the 3 New Dunlin scouts who have unfortunately passed away, you kind of have to like, it's pretty morbid, but you kind of have to like rip the vines out from them and kind of like chuck it to the
Fenris
side.
has no problem doing it.
Yeah, he's just like stepping, just and you're able to pick up the 3 bodies and carry them home. And I guess that's where we'll end the session.
Oh,
But would it be a Chris session?
Motherfucker!
Would it be? So as you are packing up the bodies and licking your not very many wounds, as I rolled really badly.
I took 11 hit points. That shit hurts, man.
Oleander's head hurts from the fucking stone a little bit, but that's
I got
about
hit by
it.
those thorns too.
Okay. Yeah,
But
licking
my
your little
stuff is
scratches.
12.
Yeah.
Okay, like Oleander gets hit by everything.
Yeah, you're walking away in the distance. We'll say you're walking out like the the western side of the map. It doesn't really matter. As you're walking away in the distance, you just hear crack, 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 and just like these 3 large crunches. As you look back from this like ear-splitting noise, you watch as the vines have completely coalesced and wrapped around the house, and it just yanks it underground as the whole house is pulled under from this vine creature.
Oh,
And that's where we'll end
my.
tonight's session.
Oh.
Ah! I'm just like over here like Tina.
You love to see it.
Yep. Yeah, so we'll
Fine.
we'll turn in the quest next session, and we will go onwards.
this is
Um,
fine.
And our party dynamic is in no way going to be problematic at
Yeah.
all.
This is
Holy
fine.
shit.
Oh my god.
Oh,
there's such a
Fenris isn't
shit
gonna be
show.
cooking on being called a dog by Constance for a whole ass week now.
We're a mess, y'all.
Yeah, that was tough to watch.
I'm sorry, audience, but not really.
I'm glad Oleander's not the asshole anymore.
Yeah, I did. You know what? I think Fenris has helped like made the party realize. You know, Oleander's not that bad. Now that you
She's
mention
Oleander's
it.
trying
pretty
so
cool.
hard too.
At least Oleander dresses like a decent fucking person.
Poor
I also was
Constance was just trying to compliment Fenris.
Well, I wanted to add when like they were all deciding what they should do, Fenris made a point to look at Constance but not ask her what she wanted.
Okay,
All right, let's
she
go around
doesn't
and
care.
plug real quick.
I know, but like
Um,
in his mind he's being petty, okay?
Okay.
Let's go around and plug, and then we'll wrap up for the night. So, Lucy, if you want to kick us off.
Sure. I'm Lucy. You can find me here every Wednesday playing Azara Solaris, the half-elven cleric, and you can find me on Thursdays playing Andy, aka Andrea March, in our Dead Winter campaign. Really excited about that. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Bluebird Draws. I do character art. I did the character art for all of these characters that you see on our layout. And you can also find me on TikTok at LucyBlue66. My commissions are open.
Thank you, Alex.
Oh, hi, it's me, Alex. I'm the party grump now. I went from being the GM to the party grump. You can usually find me here on Wednesdays where I will be reprising my role as one hot grumpy tiefling boy, Fenris. Hopefully he will warm up to the party soon here. I am also in Dead Winter on Thursday. I play as Lou Goodman, yet another shitlord in a group of good beans. It's such a contrast to Kane Jack's good old Beans boy. Wouldn't even curse.
Aw.
What happened? And just keep your eyes out. I've got a really cool project in the works. I don't want to say anything else about too much of it yet. If you follow me on Twitter and just look at my late night tweets, you'll get more of an idea of what's going on with that.
Fantastic. AJ.
Hello, I am AJ, and yeah, I'm gonna be on this screen 3 days in a row for the foreseeable future. So catch me Wednesdays here, Thursdays as Robin Goodman, and in Two Dead to Winter, and now on most Fridays when we will be playing video games here on this here RPG channel. It'll be a really good time. We're gonna start off with Puyo Puyo Tetris, and I am going to decimate puddins.
Sam,
love
quick,
how it's
before
called
Alex retorts.
co-op.
Before I get up here. Anyway, hi everyone, I'm Sam. I am Sam, though. Hi. You can find me back here tomorrow with everybody for Dead Winter. I play
Oh my god.
Moira, the Banshee Mythos. You can also catch me playing Masks with the folks at Protean City Comics in the Incidentals and Quest with No Initiative in the Soaring City. We got some updates coming for that, so you know. That's me.
I'm Chris. I'm the GM now for this for a while until somebody else takes it over again. I am also the GM for Two Dead to Winter, working title, not an official title. Hopefully by the end of the campaign we'll have a title. And anyways, if you like my GMing style and if you like the vibe of our table, you'll probably enjoy that game as we add 2 other lovely individuals to our cast.
I promise our characters get along better in that one.
They are much nicer. They are much nicer folks. And yeah, Two Dead, Two Winter is basically a City of Mist game where people reprise some of their favorite myths, basically. So, anyways, we're gonna go raid somebody.
Yeah, Shrimps.
Shrimps?
Or shrimps. It's a shrimp night. Shrimp night. All right.
It's always a shrimp night.
I mean, if we have somebody like to raid, but shrimps.
Yeah, it's shrimp night.
I'm looking at the list. I'm seeing shrimps.
I've seen shrimps.
I'm looking at shrimps.
I'm
All right,
seeing,
thanks,
yeah.
y'all. We'll see you next time.
Shrimps.
Bye.